I posted a personal essay a while ago on my Patreon where I kind of document my time on the internet. It ranged from my youthful years of playing online games to my old crone years, aka now, apparently, where I play internet jester for hundreds of thousands of people. It was a very vulnerable, eloquent piece, very humble. Let me tell you right now, this is not that. This is cold, hard complaining and negativity. I'm giving into the annoyance. The rage baiters have won. I've taken out my Invisalign. This is the album. Hey, so for about a year and a half, I've really struggled with my place on YouTube. I didn't want to speak about it publicly because doing so would make it real, but I've alluded to it. I've called it burnout, I've called it creative block, I've called it anxiety, but those were just phrases I used to soften the blow. They were my way of stalling, of staving off the growing dissatisfaction that I had with my career. Girl, I was scared as fuck because the feeling wasn't going away, and I thought that I would have to quit YouTube. You hear that? That's the sound of an elephant crashing into the room. With a straight face, I can't say that I hate my job without acknowledging that everyone hates their job. And a majority of people have much more valid reasons for hating their job than I do. All jobs are fickle, all work is evil, but even so, being a social media jester is much easier than working, say, a customer service job. People who work public-facing jobs, especially in the food industry or retail, are braver than our troops. I've been working since I was 17 years old. Before starting YouTube at the age of 21, I worked full-time exclusively in hospitality. I first worked as a laundry attendant at a hotel, and then I worked as a housekeeper. I cleaned literal shit off the walls. I got demeaned by my bosses. I got cornered in rooms by men. I have even been called to help by customers. Mind you, I've only ever worked in resorts, which are bigger than like regular hotels. Each room has multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, a full kitchen, a balcony, etc. And I was cleaning up to 4 rooms a day. Doing YouTube videos from the comfort of my home is a breeze compared to actual labor. For the most part, I have to remind myself of this, I have the privilege of choosing my agony. I will never take this job for granted, and I will never sit here and pretend that I have it worse than people who do traditional work. Now, with that being said, the concept of quitting calls to me like the Green Lantern mask. No, it's Green Goblin. The concept of quitting calls to me like the Green Goblin mask, okay? I didn't really name that urge until a couple of months ago. If you're on the same side of YouTube as me, you might have seen Khadijah Mbo's recent departure. I love Khadijah, that's my goat. I've already given them their flowers directly. But when I was watching their goodbye video, I had this weird feeling wash over me. Of course, I felt the obvious bittersweetness, knowing that while Khadijah was leaving, they were doing so to follow their other passions. But after all of that settled, there was this feeling of not jealousy, but awe. I was like, damn, they actually did it. They're actually free. And these thoughts startled me. Up until that point, I never directly acknowledged my desire to leave YouTube. Not seriously, anyway, but that sense of wonder, that sense of urgency I got while watching Khadijah's goodbye video forced me to come to terms with the reality. I hated my job. I can break down this hatred 4 billion different ways. I could complain until the sun goes down. Next week. But let's just start with the business politics. Capitalism, some may call it. I've never been a particularly business-oriented person, especially not when it comes to things that I consider art. I don't know what the word metrics means. I don't think it's healthy or even possible to constantly one-up yourself, to constantly expand your profit, to constantly grow and transform and innovate. My first goal has always been to have fun and to make stuff that interests me. I want to hold the label of artist with care and responsibility, and I want to earn that label. As it is, YouTube is my job, and that word comes with a lot of demands. YouTube seems like the perfect job. It represents itself as such. There's a reason why so many people want to become digital creators. The promise of YouTube is the promise of freedom. You set your own schedule, you're in charge of what you produce, and you make good money. It's the digital version of the American dream. Except, the American dream doesn't exist in earnest, does it? If it ever did, it doesn't exist anymore. And the promise of YouTube is kind of the same. I have a lot of subscribers on my main channel, almost 800,000. And a lot of people watch my main channel videos. But by YouTube standards, I am definitely not the top 1%. There are people on this platform who can post themselves looking at a sock and get millions upon millions of views, and therefore millions upon millions of dollars. And honestly, good for them, great for them. For the rest of us, however, the platform tolerates us. In fact, it is adamant about finding new and complex ways to make us want to shoot our faces off. YouTube does not consider its creators employees. We are independent contractors. So in that regard, you can technically work for yourself. You're your own boss. So they say. I don't care what John Google says, YouTube is a group project. You determine about half of everything, and, well, I'll say you determine about 55%. How about this? You determine 45%, and YouTube determines the rest. I say 45% because YouTube takes 45% of my ad revenue every single month. 45% implies a group effort. Creators are beholden to the algorithm. The algorithm is abstract. No one knows what it wants, what it hates, or if it even matters in the long run. But there are some aspects about the platform that I feel are undebatable. Frequency and consistency are gods, and shadow banning exists. I don't argue with your mother. You can definitely decide what you post and how frequently, but you also have to contend with the fact that the algorithm rewards high frequency. At the beginning of my career here, I was posting every single week. YouTube loved me. But the quality of those videos, for obvious reasons, was poor. Alternatively, at the beginning of this year, I didn't post for almost 3 months, and my channel has not recovered since. It wasn't like I went on vacation also. I was fighting for my life. I was burnt out, and in the academic world, it would be ridiculous to write fully fleshed out, complete, accurate, and high quality essays, not to mention entertaining essays, every 3 weeks, which is the pace I have for my main channel. Making a video essay of my caliber as frequently as I do is taxing, and I do it completely alone. No editors, no researchers, no script writers, and girl, at times I'm sure it's very obvious. At the beginning of this year, I was posting every other month, which felt refreshing, but for the sake of my bank account, I had to ramp it back up. Taking a 3-month break means that your audience has time to move on to other creators and other niches. And sometimes, even if the algorithm shows your video to a wider audience, things like thumbnail and title and topic and video quality influences whether you get views. So sometimes it is, as YouTube says, the creator's fault that their views decrease. However, I also believe that YouTube plays a role in stomping out creators. Even though YouTube takes 45% of your pay every single month, implying a group effort, they are adamant that your experience here is entirely up to you. When creators point out algorithmic changes that may impact their channel or views, the platform insists that it's your fault, actually. Maybe your videos just aren't good. Maybe people don't want to watch you anymore. These are possible, certainly. I had a YouTube contact actually through the partner program, and I asked them about the algorithm, to which they looked at me for a good 5 seconds and was like, no, of course not. We do not shadow ban people or suppress videos. And I was like, okay then, so what about posting frequency? Like, does that impact me at all? And they were like, No, of course not. We do not shadow ban people or suppress videos. Okay, it's giving there is no war in Bossing Say, but okay. I'm actually fully prepared to accept that it's my fault and that my channel slumped this year, because I'm okay with that possibility. Because at least if it's my fault, it means I have a fighting chance. It means that I have room to grow, and I love growing. Catch me growing all 2026, I don't know. But other creators who are not me have also noticed a downtrend in views this year. And not just a small dip in views, I'm talking a massive dip. People have speculated that small channels are getting a bigger push in the algorithm. That may be a byproduct of the hype feature rolling out. I don't know though, I don't work for YouTube, so. This channel just got monetized about a month or so ago, and before it got monetized, my videos were doing numbers. My video about Twisted got more views than a lot of my main channel videos that I posted this year, even though this channel is like monumentally smaller and the videos are obviously way less complex. I try not to worry about views because worrying doesn't make the views go up. It just makes my mood go down. But to be honest, it does suck to put in so much effort into a video and have it perform poorly by YouTube standards over and over and over again. Only one of my videos this year has performed well by my channel's historical standards. And so that can be disheartening and also frustrating if you can't pinpoint the reason. YouTube is also a group project in terms of the content of a video. It is way easier than you think to get demonetized or partially demonetized. YouTube is dead serious about their brand sponsors, girl, and so there are some things you just cannot say. And there are some topics that you have to dance around in order to get paid for your work. And can I just say, the fair use copyright thing, it is hell. It is hell, it is hell, it is hell. Oh my God. Like, you can use a piece of media well within your rights, well within the rights of fair use, and they will still get your ass. They will still get your ass. Depending, you gotta really cut and chop. You cannot use a clip beyond like 5 seconds, or else they got your ass. Luckily, I've built a rapport with YouTube, so they're more likely to take my word for it when I say that a video is advertiser friendly. But it can still happen. I got demonetized for making a video about Euphoria one time. I didn't even use any sensitive words or discuss any sensitive topics at length. I was actually very annoying about substituting words to make sure that I did not use any words that YouTube doesn't like. I did everything right, and I was still fully demonetized. So we have to talk about money, right? I'll try to be as transparent as possible. I have been in a 4-year situationship with YouTube's AdSense. When it's good, it's good. God damn, is it good? But when it's bad, call me irresponsible, but I did not realize the importance of diversifying my income until this year. If you're a baby YouTuber, let me reiterate, diversify your income. Better yet, keep your day job. Again, I didn't post on my main channel for nearly 3 months, and ever since then, my views have been down exponentially. Payment naturally follows that trend. There have been more months than I can count on one hand where my AdSense wouldn't even cover my rent. I'm lucky enough to have a partner that I live with, and I also get sponsorships, which make up a majority of my income. But because my views are down, my sponsorship offers are also going down. And so it's a weird cycle of depletion. I also try to be really strict with who I sponsor, and so it can be really hard sometimes to find a sponsor for a video or get paid an appropriate amount. Sponsors also take a really long time to pay you, oddly. They give you such strict timelines of when you can post a video, but then they won't pay you until 30 days after you post the video, or sometimes 60 or 90 days after you post a video. I've only worked with 2 brands this year. One was thankfully a multi-deal, meaning I did more than one video for that one brand. At the end of the day, I'm still able to pay my bills and eat food, which I'm grateful for. I love eating. I was also able to start a Patreon, which has helped tremendously, like tremendously. I've also been putting more effort into this channel, which thankfully was monetized, like I said, about a month or so ago. And so, yay, diverse income, yay. I'm better about this now, but for the longest time, my comment section was my worst enemy. I started to hate posting because I was convinced that people just hated me or that I would do something wrong or say something wrong or be wrong. YouTube comment sections are a million times better than TikTok or Reels comment sections. People are mean on those. Also, it's not just the comments either, it's everything. Sometimes I see like the videos have gotten meaner or like at least more rage baity. There's less substance. People seem less curious than before. Everyone seems less gracious. The internet as a whole has become a hostile environment to fun and sensitivity, two things I am great at doing and being, by the way. I'm not saying that I'm special and sweet and innocent. I do cuss a little.
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck.
But I feel hungry for something that I am increasingly not finding on social media. I started to shelter myself because I thought that doing so would protect me. I stopped reading my comments, for one. The human brain is not designed to ingest the opinions of hundreds of people, especially people you've never met, regardless of the content of those opinions, whether they're positive or negative. I've been doing YouTube for about 5 years now. No, I think it is 5 years. And I've gotten just about every type of comment imaginable. People have said racist things to me, they have fetishized me, they have sexualized me, they have been kind to me, they have been accepting and thoughtful and deep. I've gotten comments about my dialect, my intelligence or lack thereof. I've been mistaken for a white person before. I've gone toe to toe with Manosphere bros. I went to war with Nicki Minaj fans apparently. Girl, I have seen it all. There's one type of comment that for the longest time bugged me the most. Since the beginning of my career, I have been accused of copying ContraPoints. She is a brilliant video essayist who started a long time before me, I'm sure, and who has a very large fan base. And everything I'm going to say after this really has nothing to do with her personally. I don't want people to be weird to her or blame her for what random people are doing in my comment sections. I know from experience that for the most part, you really can't control people who watch your videos, especially if they're not even really like a fan of you. They're just like blowing through or whatever, and then they see drama and then they jump on it for some reason. When I first started getting these comparisons, I didn't understand them. Like literally, I did not understand them. I didn't watch the OG video essayists before I joined the niche. I was very much a new generation viewer. I watched Yara Zaid, Broe Deschanel, T Noir, and Khadijah Mbo. I didn't know who Lindsay Ellis was. To this day, I have not watched a Jenny Nicholson video, and more to my point, I did not know who ContraPoints was. I can't tell you exactly when people started making these comparisons, but it was definitely very early in my career, like very early into my video essays. The first one I remember was when someone once called me a Walmart Contra. I didn't know what I did not know who or what or how or why those words existed. I didn't even think much of it, actually. It sounded like gibberish to me. But eventually I became acquainted with ContraPoints' content, and I was like, oh, okay. Once I was aware of who she was and what she does, I absolutely started taking these comments as compliments. To a degree, I still do. I respect her style and her ability to synthesize research and humor into cohesive essays. That takes real skill to do, and she has it. Being compared to ContraPoints at first felt like people recognized those things in me. They recognized my work ethic, my research, my intellect, and my flair for the dramatic. But, oh, and the but is big. It took me a while to realize that when people comment that I'm a knockoff ContraPoints or a ContraPoints skinwalker, they are not being nice. Seems obvious, but It's actually gotten meaner over time. People have commented that I'm stealing her aesthetic or trying hard to be her and so forth. Everything I do is filtered through her, it seems, and I'm judged accordingly. There are people out there who don't even see me when they click on my video. They don't credit me for my vision, but instead they see a Walmart ContraPoints. To be fair, I've seen other video essayists get this treatment, and there are also other video essayists who have been compared to me. Don't watch my shit and try to weaponize it against other people who are just minding their fucking business. By the way, what a sad, small life to live. It is embarrassing me. Anyways, it's like people forget how genres function once they come across video essays. There are going to be I'm getting mad actually. There are going to be similarities across a genre. That's how you classify genres, by the similarities. Commentary dudes create the same exact content, like clones, and you guys eat that up. Musical genres follow certain rules and structural characteristics. Is everyone copying each other, or are they just in a content niche? My fucking goodness. These comparisons were really frustrating to me for a time because I think their purpose is to undermine my identity, my creativity, and at times my intelligence. A few months ago, I did a video about dark romance. The topic was suggested to me by a subscriber, and someone commented under my video and accused me point blank of plagiarizing ContraPoints. They used that exact word, plagiarize. They swore that I got all of my info. They didn't even ask me, actually. Let me just curtail that. They didn't ask me. They straight up accused me of stealing all the information in my video from ContraPoints' Twilight video. And they accused me of attempting to pass it off as my own research. Now, this is a very big accusation to me, especially as someone who used to be in academia and who takes their work very seriously, maybe even too seriously. This accusation is disheartening. And what makes it worse is that I never watched ContraPoints' Twilight video. I know it exists. We follow each other on Instagram, and I remember she posted like a trailer for the video, and I commented on her Instagram post leaving something supportive, but I never made an effort to go watch the video. And that's not like a slight against her. I don't watch YouTube anymore. When I do watch YouTube, it's not video essays. So I did not watch ContraPoints' video. I don't even know what the thesis of that video is, because from the title, I was under the impression it was about Twilight. But the commenter made it sound like it was about dark romance. So I don't know. I still haven't watched it. So maybe she bridges like Twilight and dark romance together. And that makes sense because Twilight is very much dark romance. The commenter demanded that I give credit to ContraPoints for my video that I spent time making by myself. And you know, I responded to them because who the hell do you think you're talking to? After being confronted, the commenter explained that ContraPoints and I used the same source in our video, Arrows by Anne Carson. Where do I even begin? Where do I begin with this? Let the record show before I get mad again. I have been taking college courses since I was 14 years old. At the end of 8th grade, I applied for an early college program, got accepted to it, studied on a college campus, and then graduated high school with both my diploma and an associate's degree in arts. I then went on to study at a different college for 2 more years, majoring in English with a minor in literary analysis, before switching to professional writing, English still, in my very last semester, and I graduated in 2020 with a bachelor's degree in English. And I did so with fucking honors. I know what books are. I read books, and I know who Anne Carson is. I would say every English major on planet Earth knows who Anne Carson is, but even also without that, without a degree, you too can know who Anne Carson is if you just fucking own a Tumblr. Anne Carson isn't some mythical magical unicorn. The book that I reference has 6,000 ratings on Goodreads. I get it. For a lot of people, ContraPoints is the only scholar they know, but I promise, I do not need to steal sources or information from her about a research topic as easy and as well documented as the human emotion of desire. I say all of that with as much lightheartedness and grace as I can. The commenter went on to apologize to me for the accusations. But then they kind of accused me again. They were saying something like, oh, well, it's just that you both used Anne Carson as a source, and then when you talk about the history of the dark romance genre, the information is the same, so it's just hard to believe that it's a case of simultaneous invention rather than plagiarism. Okay, so the word you're looking for is research. The word got away from you for a bit, I get it, but that's just research. When two people research the same topic, especially when that topic has a well-documented history and flow of events, the information that comes from that research will be similar. That is, if those two people did it correctly. Like, that's like saying that two people did an essay on World War I, and the information was too similar, so one of them had to plagiarize the other. Instead of thinking, well, they're following a certain event, a certain topic, and that event has a clear flow, very well documented. They cited all the sources that they got the information from. One thing that I've noticed about being in academia is that it is the beating a topic into the ground factory. Once you start zoning in on a topic, you will read 800 articles that have nearly identical information. And that's the fun part. Academia is about building upon a topic. That's something some YouTube viewers don't get. Some people are substituting video essays with actual learning and research. Their perception of scholarship is warped. Learning becomes more about Stan Wars than actual knowledge. People who think this way don't have much life experience. They don't read much. They don't watch anything. They don't meet people or observe people. And then they take all of that ignorance and they project it onto you. When you interact with the world, you come to realize that people are at their core very similar. That's not to say that people don't have unique seeming personalities or that everyone is copying each other. I just mean that there are people who existed centuries ago who are just like me. People I have never met who I can't even imagine existing, and vice versa. Yet we share interests or versions of interests. They have my mannerisms or my fear responses. I have their aspirations. Humanity is finite, meaning there is only so many variations of a human you can be. Yes, people have differences, but they also mainly have similarities. You can't get around it. It should be more beautiful to you than it is scary. You shouldn't want to be the most unique, singular person on the planet, because how lonely would that be? I have this rule that everyone is special, but no one is original. No one is unique. It's not possible at this point in human existence to be the first and only person to do something. And if you're an artist, you have got to let that fantasy go. You've got to. You will make yourself sick trying. Focus on doing something that you want and do it well. Do it with passion and do it with love. If you do something with the sole goal of being the first one to do it, and if that is your only accomplishment, you've already lost the plot. The subtle implication behind the constant comparisons I get to ContraPoints is that people believe that I am not smart enough or creative enough to do something that a white person has already done. They think that in order for me, as a black femme, to exist, I must steal that existence from a white person. They think that black people can't be theatrical, intelligent, well-read, or articulate. Hell, they think ContraPoints invented Anne Carson. That, or they don't know anything else in life but their favorite white creator. And they judge everything else by that metric. Either way, honey, I say this with love, peace and love even, but white people will never be my North Star. Ever. I have been very vocal about who and what inspires me. I always cite my sources. and I am very authentically myself. I thought about spending the rest of this video and the rest of my life really being upset about these comparisons. Everything I've talked about today has made me think about quitting YouTube. Sometimes I just want to say, fuck it. Y'all win, damn. But I won't. Clearly, we need Black people in these spaces. I bring something to the table and I will shake this bitch every chance I fucking get. That was me shaking the table, by the way. Thankfully, people won't be able to play in my face anymore. Not only have I just stopped reading the comments under my main channel, but I've even went as far as blocking ContraPoints' name from my comment sections. So good luck with that. Argue with your mother. I actually want to take this time to reintroduce myself because I'm sticking around for a little while. I mean, I've got books to write in the future. I've got other stuff to do, but for now, YouTube is mine. And I want there to be a referenceable piece of evidence about who I am. So my name is Shaniya. I earned my associate's degree in high school and graduated 2 years later with a bachelor's in English, with honors, of course. I have always been an imaginative person. I'm a Pisces, but most importantly, I'm a writer. I've been creating other worlds since I was 9 or 10, and I think that translates well into my content. I tell stories and I make scenes. Before starting a YouTube channel in 2020, I spent my time creating dramatic sets in my bedroom, something that I still do today for my videos. I used to take pretentious photos of myself. I ran my Instagram page like the Navy. In college, I specifically sought out English courses that covered romanticism. My very first video on this platform was me sitting in a 1960s peignoir, pretending to be a romantic poet. My whole life, I have been a traditional artist. I used to draw a lot and paint. At one point, I painted on clothes and sold it to people. I have owned a Tumblr since I was 12 years old, so that explains a lot. I am always on Pinterest. What else? I am the most creative, pretentious, dramatic person I know. And for so long, that has been something that I was insecure about. I come from a small town and I've always felt that my being was so much bigger than everything else around me. But now I love this about me, and no one is allowed to credit any of that to someone else. I hope that if you are interested in the same things that I am, especially if you are a person of color, I hope that I provide an authentic, entertaining space for you to scratch that educative, creative itch. I hope that you see yourself represented in spaces that you usually don't, that you realize how intelligent, fun, interesting, and valuable that you are. I hope you realize that your North Star can look like you, talk like you, and can be you. I'm not going anywhere for the time being, I promise. But y'all got one more time or I swear to God.